So yesterday, the New York Times comes out with a report that claimed from inside sources familiar with the matter that Donald Trump had attempted back in June to fire Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Now, the Times report that the White House counsel, Don McGahn, had threatened to resign over the president's order to fire the special counsel and argued that his firing would have, quote, a catastrophic effect on the Trump administration, which is 100% right. So, in the wake of this report, Trump's stooges in the media had to come out and, of course, cast this as distraction, fake news, etc. Right? Now, speaking of stooges, we go to stooge number one, Sean Hannity, who had this to say.
At this hour, the New York Times is trying to distract you. They have a story that Trump wanted Mueller fired sometime last June, and our sources, and I've checked in with many of them, they're not confirming that tonight. And the president's attorney dismissed the story and says, no comment, we're not going there. And how many times has the New York Times and others gotten it wrong?
Hey, look, good question, right? So, does media get it wrong sometimes? Absolutely. I've gotten it wrong before. The New York Times has gotten it wrong before. The Washington Post. All these different other media sources have gotten it wrong. And guess what? Fox News has also gotten it wrong. Surprise, surprise, right? Now, on the substance of this, right? So Hannity, responding to this report, did the standard, fake news, right? Fake news, it's a distraction. And later on, he wanted to talk about the text messages, right? So let me get to that for a minute because I haven't really addressed the text messages, right? So there were thousands, tens of thousands of missing text messages between Peter Strzok and I forget her name. So Linda Page, I believe. So they had this relationship. They both worked in the FBI. They both texted each other, and they both had an anti-Trump bias. Oh my God, somebody within the FBI didn't like Donald Trump. They had such a huge bias, right? So Fox News, of course, immediately went to this conspiracy. Oh my God, look at all these text messages, right? But wait, there are tens of thousands of text messages that are gone, that went missing. Well, actually, that's fairly serious, right? There's actually something to focus on because where did they go? Let's find the text messages because it's unacceptable to have all these messages suddenly go missing. So, look, if you're wondering where they are, well, for one, yes, it actually is important to make sure that we can find them. The good news is we did find them, or at least most of them. Now, the thing is that while this is something that is important to focus on, missing information, the right has created some really strange conspiracy theories around it. Now, one of the text messages that has been resurfaced includes a reference to a secret society. Oh, okay, secret society, right? So what are we talking about? Are we talking about Illuminati? Are we talking about the Freemasons, the Bilderbergs? What are we talking about? They don't really say. In fact, when you actually read about this, you realize that, it's actually not, maybe it's just a joke. And I think that's what it is. Because they were talking about gag Putin calendars. Like, I didn't get my calendar. What is this, some sort of secret society? Yeah. And it's funny, so there are people out there that were talking about this, and as soon as these text messages came out, they're like, oh, yeah, you know what? Maybe it is kind of a joke. Oops. Now, anyway, that said, Mueller, upon finding out the anti-Trump bias, which is important, right? In this investigation, you want to make sure that your team is unbiased so that people can't question the results of your investigation. So that's what Mueller is going for, is like, I'm going to hire people that are straight, right down the middle. They're go by the book. We're going to do this professional investigation. And we're going to try not to go into this with preconceived notions or biases against the president. So, well, that's interesting, right? Now, Strzok had a bias against Donald Trump. And so he was immediately fired, right? Now, what's interesting is reading more of those text messages, you find out that Peter Strzok didn't like nobody running in 2016. He had a bias against Hillary Clinton. He had a bias against Bernie Sanders. And he had a bias against Trump. He thought they were all idiots, right? Didn't like them all. Now, what's interesting is that, of course, the right wing tends to ignore all this. No. But Peter Strzok hates Donald Trump. And you know what? That's why he's treasonous to the country. Yes, he's literally been called treasonous. But guess what? Right? In a text message prior to joining the investigation into Trump and Russia, he said, quote, "My gut sense and concern is there's no big there." Meaning that, yeah, man, look, I get this feeling that we're not going to find anything about Donald Trump. There's nothing there. I think this investigation is a load of crap. That's the guy they're calling a traitor, right? So that's treasonous according to Trump and Hannity. And it's what Hannity has been harping on for weeks. Anyway, so Hannity calls this fake news, right? Talks about this, the New York Times story is a complete distraction. That is until Fox News correspondent Ed Henry published a story on Thursday night describing the sources confirming a lot of the details that were in the Times report. Again, this is a Fox News correspondent, which led to this hilarious turnaround.
All right, so we have sources tonight just confirming to Ed Henry that, yeah, maybe Donald Trump wanted to fire the special counsel for conflict. Does he not have the right to raise those questions? You know, we'll deal with this tomorrow night. We have a shocking video of the day to bring you, by the way. This footage comes to us from Arizona where...
Never mind. Hey, look. So we got sources. To our own sources. Anyway, moving on. Move on. Let's move on. I mean, we'll deal with this tomorrow. That's awesome. I've never seen such a quick turnaround in my life. That kind of complete reversal had to have given him massive whiplash. Oh, my neck. Oh, it hurts. Oh, that whiplash. Oh, my God. What a loser. Sad. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.